Welcome to another episode of Barman Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at Pocahontas. Yeah, I found another cheaply made animated Pocahontas film. Does it really surprise you? I mean, I covered two of them back when I was doing episodes 16 and 17. There are a lot of cheaply made Pocahontas films. After all, you had to try and cash in on Disney's original release in 1995 or later re-releases, or try and do your own telling, later on, when it wouldn't be so obvious you're trying to cash in on that version. I mean, this version came out in 1994, so it mostly came out, a bit over a year earlier, but I'm gonna assume, they heard about the Disney version being worked on, and decided to just drop this in store shelves a few months ahead of time to try and cash in on it. Because, that's just what, some of these studios do. They're like, what's the big studio doing? Can we make a cheaper product and throw it out in the market and see if there's some takers? They're willing to buy our cheaply made junk. I guess some will say that's mean-spirited of me, because Golden Films does do an okay job sometimes, but this is not one of their better films, okay? It starts off with some rather stiff animation at points where characters are just blinking while looking at the screen, and then has a cheaply reused animation loop while they're working their way through the opening credit sequence. I guess I shouldn't be too upset about that, but they don't even do a good job of hiding the fact we're doing an animation loop. It's one of those cheaply done loops that doesn't even make it, deceive you into thinking there wasn't a loop. Because they show it like 3 times in rapid succession. So it's like, you guys couldn't have found a way to spread that out a bit so it was less obvious what you were doing, like throw a bear or something in there the second time, so it doesn't add too much to the budget, but throw in a background animal or something so it's a little less obvious than the same background, going by multiple times. Of course, my biggest problem with this film, besides the pacing, is the fact it doesn't even feel like it's about Pocahontas. You spend far more time with the side characters to the point they feel like the main characters. And their job is to be, funny commentators on the film, or meant to treat your kids like they're stupid by, telling them the bloody obvious. And it's annoying. Like, I realize they wanted to do something different, I guess, maybe than some of the other cheaply made films. Like, we're going to focus on these side characters to the point, we're going to act like we're Mystery Science Theater 3000 or something. And it was a bad approach. I mean, we got this weird eagle with nipples. Yeah, don't figure that one out. I don't know why people keep putting nipples on birds. They don't have nipples. That's a trait for mammals. Like, jeez. And I honestly have the least complaint about the eagle. The nipple thing was more of a funny little bit because it pops up, only like once or twice maybe throughout the entire film. You gotta be paying attention to catch that one. But the little fluffy wing character, the chicken hawk, is super annoying. And what's sad is that character is voiced by Cam Clark. Now you might be thinking, Cam Clark, like, what else has he done? Well, he was the voice of Leonardo in the classic 80s TMT series. This is a guy who's done a lot of good work. But in this movie, they tried making him carry a lot of the comedic load, and gave him a character that never shuts up. So he can never land the timing of a joke. At all. And his running jokes are, he can't say Pocahontas' name correctly, so he's like, Poca what's it?
Who's it?
Pocahontas.
What's it?
Pocahontas.
Oh, bless you. And what's a Pocahontas anyhow?
Or constantly failing to fly correctly and slamming into the ground because of gravity. Or ramming into things. Or tripping over his own feet.
Watch where you're going, why don't you? You ran right in front of me!
It's not particularly funny, especially considering I got an old dog in my house that spends her time basically doing the same thing. All day, every day. And there's only so many laughs you can get out of that. And it's a kind of cruelty to laugh at poor old Hamill like that, because Rosette's got her back in like '05 sometimes, so she's like 16 years old now. It's not a surprise that her body's giving out on her, okay? For a dog, she's really up there. So she can't really see anymore, and she just kind of wanders around until she bumps into things, trying to figure out where she's going. It also means she largely walks in big, large, empty circles where she's not really going anywhere. Yeah, I feel sorry for her. I mean, I suppose I did laugh one day. Came home, found she'd wandered into the bathroom, got stuck behind the toilet. I mean, it's hard not to laugh about that one a little bit. As cruel as it is, you're like, seriously, like, of all the places you get stuck, you decide to walk up a step without any real assistance to get up it, so I'm a bit surprised she even took that, because she won't even try and climb my stairs anymore. She gave up on that well over a year or two ago. Like, she won't even try that, because it's too hard on her arthritis issues, I guess. But it didn't stop her stop her that one day, apparently. Then she wandered around the toilet, then came back around and got stuck because there's a bar, at one point, so she got stuck because she couldn't back up. Ugh, poor dog. Oh yeah, what we're talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about Golden Films' Pocahontas. Probably one of the worst Pocahontas films I've ever seen. I mean, the only positives I can throw its way is that it's colorful, but it feels oversaturated at points. Ugh. And outside of my annoyance with the side characters being the main characters effectively, we have a talking sentient canoe in this film. Why? I mean, the only role it serves is to be hit on by Pocahontas. I'm not kidding, that actually happens. She hits on her canoe in order to get in the water so she can ride it back to her village for a festival, which has nothing to even do with, John Smith and the other colonists arriving. That was an event planned well before then to celebrate the harvest or getting through the winter, because I guess they say it was spring or the start of the movie, so I guess it was, a spring festival celebration, which means we get stuck with watching people dance and have races, and I'm just like, why are we spending all this time on stuff that doesn't even matter to the plot? I mean, if this Golden Festival exists, it's a nice historical reference maybe, but you have 40-some-odd minutes to tell a story and get me invested, in Pocahontas and a John Smith love relationship, and you're wasting it on a gosh darn race between Pocahontas and a guy named Brightfire that's never going to pop up again the entire film, so why should I care about him? Ugh. Yeah, they just do not spend their time wisely when it comes to everything else. So you're kind of just left wondering why they even bothered if they weren't going to focus on the more important aspects of the story. It's sort of like we introduced, the guy that was the villain character in the Disney version, and he never gets his comeuppance in this one. He just gets kind of forgotten about. It's a loose plot thread that never gets tied. And stuff like that just makes the story feel so damn lazy. Yeah, like, just avoid this one. Like there might be some good points in there somewhere, but this is definitely not a film really worth watching, unless you really want to see that canoe scene, and I'll try and throw it on the end of this video. I mean, I know the entire movie's up on YouTube, so you can definitely watch it for free if you want to, probably. I saw it up on Dailymotion, too, so knock yourself out, if you want to go looking for it, and hope they haven't been blocked yet. But, damn, that canoe scene. That says enough about this film right there, I suppose.
And I know that a fine, strapping canoe like you, who moves like the very wind itself, could get me there with great speed.
Oh, well, I don't like to brag, of course, but I can move pretty fast when I put my mind to it.
There is none faster. Oh, perhaps you could show my friends here how fast you truly are.